So as normal, and who goes to Spiritist house knows that we start with the entry prayer. Then Larissa is going to read the gospel for us, and then we do a discussion on what we have learned. But this is Spiritism at home. I mean, gospel at home. And when you do gospel at home, it usually is more concise than when you are in a Spiritist center, right? So we're just going to briefly discuss what we understood, the message that we got from this chapter, and then we do a final prayer, and there we go.
Should we start?
We should start. Okay, so let's close our eyes, and those that can, and then just bring the image of Jesus right in your mind. It's beautiful light. It's embracing our physical and our spiritual body, giving us peace of mind. Just relax on your seat, wherever you are. And imagine this light going throughout your whole house, wherever you are at the moment. Filling up the room that you are in with harmony, with a frequency of love that invites all of us to open up our hearts and our mind to our higher selves. And with that in mind, with this beautiful image of our Master Jesus, we thank him for one more day of life, one more chance we had to make things right, to make the right choices for our lives. Asking him to bless our choices in life, our daily choices, our daily plans, and our future plans as well. Thanking him for all the blessings we have, the water we drink, the food we eat, our work, our family, our colleagues. But moreover, we ask him to bless all over the world those that are in need of his kind and loving embrace, those that feel lonely, those that are in prisons, those that are in need in these countries of wars. Blessing all of those that are on the streets without a home, without a bed to sleep. Asking our spiritual guides to get closer to us, embracing us in their love, helping us to become more centered, more in tune with their vibration. We thank you, dear Lord, and the spiritual guides that are with us at the moment, for your love, for your patience. Help us to become a better person. Help us and assist us to understand your message to the gospel tonight. So be it. Okay. So, chapter 15, number 255.
Yes.
The need for charity, right? According to Paul.
Yes. So, the need for charity according to Paul. Even if I were to speak all the languages of men and the language of the angels themselves, if I did not have charity, I would be only like a sounding gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I were to have the gift of prophecy and grasp all mysteries, and if I had a perfect knowledge of all things, and if I had all the faith possible to the point of moving mountains, if I did not have charity, I would be nothing. And if I were to distribute my belongings to feed the poor and delivered my body to be burned, if I did not have charity, none of these would be of any use to me. Charity is patient. It is kind and benevolent. Charity is not envious. It is not rash or hurried. It is not full of pride. It is not scornful. It does not look after its own interests. It does not take offense or become upset by anything. It does not suspect evil. It does not rejoice in injustice, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes for all things, endures all things. Now, these three virtues remain: faith, hope, and charity. But among them, the most excellent is charity. These are verses 1 through 7, and then verse 13 of chapter 13 in the first book of Corinthians in the Bible. So St. Paul understood this great truth so profoundly that he said, "Even if I were to speak the language of the angels themselves, if I were to have the gift of prophecy and grasp all mysteries, if I had all the faith possible to the point of moving mountains, but did not have charity, I would be nothing." Among these virtues, faith, hope, and charity, the most excellent is charity. Hence, without any doubt, he places charity above faith itself, because charity is within everyone's reach, the ignorant and the learned, the rich and the poor, because it's independent of any particular belief system. He does even more. He defines true charity. He shows that it is not only displayed in beneficence, but in the gathering of all the qualities of the heart, in goodness and benevolence toward one's neighbor. Do you want to comment on this one, and then we go to...
No, then he will go to, let's just jump to the teachings of Spiritism in regards to that. So actually Paul signs off on that part on page 258, which is without charity there is no salvation. So that's him now writing down with the Kardec team.
Right. So the Spirit's teachings: without charity there is no salvation. My children, in the maxim, without charity there is no salvation, are contained the destinies of men and women on earth and in heaven. On earth, because in the shadow of this banner they will live in peace. In heaven, because those who have practiced it will find grace before the Lord. This motto is the heavenly light, the luminous pillar that guides them through the desert of life in order to lead them to the promised land. It shines in heaven like a saintly halo around the brows of the elect, and on earth it is engraved on the hearts of those to whom Jesus will say, "Go to the right, you who are blessed of my Father." You will recognize them by the fragrance of charity that they spread around them. Nothing better expresses Jesus' thought. Nothing better sums up the duties of men and women than this maxim of divine order. Spiritism could not prove its origin in any better way than by providing it as a rule, because it's the reflection of the purest Christianity. With such a guide, people will never become lost. So, my friends, apply yourselves to grasping its profound meaning and consequences, and to discovering for yourselves all its applications. Submit all your actions to the test of charity, and your conscience will respond to you. Not only will it help you to avoid practicing evil, but it will lead you to practice the good. For not to have a negative virtue is not enough. It is necessary to have an active one. In order to practice the good, the action of the will is always necessary. Whereas, in order not to practice evil, idleness and negligence are often enough. My friends, give thanks to the God who has allowed you to enjoy the light of Spiritism, not because those who possess this enlightenment are the only ones who will be saved, but because in help you to understand Christ's teachings more fully, it makes you better Christians. So make every effort so that when others observe you, they can say that the true Spiritist and the true Christian are one and the same thing. For all who practice charity are Jesus' disciples, whatever the denomination to which they belong. Paul, Apostle, Paris, 1860.
Yes. What I take of this is that in Spiritism, we use this motto, without charity, there's no salvation. Because Jesus for us is the most perfect model of humanity, embodied in kindness, love, and moral perfection. It's the divine love that has embodied it here. And with that, so most of all of his teachings summarizes in love one another, love God as you love yourself as love others like you love yourself as well. So it's in Spiritism we believe that charity is not only the material one, the main charity that we have to do, that we should be doing, is the moral charity, and that embodies so many things: patience, understanding, giving your time to someone that's just needed to be heard, be there for a person even when you're in a hurry. There's so many people that the Good Samaritan is a good example of that, because the Spiritism is not the only. If the Spiritism would say without Spiritism there's no salvation, I probably would have gone the other way. I think Chic Xavier has said something else. Chic Xavier said that the same thing.
Yeah.
And I agree with him, because there's no need for special beliefs for you to do charity. Anyone can do it. You don't even need to have a religion to do charity. So although Jesus Christ was a Jew, he gave this Good Samaritans a good example, which was someone that was not really well seen by the Jews back then. And he was the only one that stopped to help that guy that has been robbed and then bashed on the street, where a priest has passed by, where the priest or the teachers of the laws was passed by, and then just walk away, leaving the guy on the street like that. And a Good Samaritan, on his journey to somewhere else, has seen that scene and just went there, helped the guy, clean his wounds, took him to an inn, paid for him to stay there until he got better, and told the lady, when I come back on my return, if you spend any money on him, I'll pay you. And the Good Samaritan was seen by them as the outcast back then. So are we being Good Samaritans? Because doing good for the people that we know is easy, but doing good for people that we don't know, for the people that we might don't have time for, are we being the Good Samaritans? The moral teachings of Jesus Christ was to forgive, and that's one of the hardest things to do, is to love, is to perfect yourself as a human being. And the only way you can do that is to put your love in action, which is the actual correct translation of the agape love. Because I was reading this afternoon that there is some scriptures they say that without love there's no salvation, right? But agape love, I mean, the translation from Paul's letters was from Greek, and Greek has 7 ways to talk about love. And the love, agape love, the correct translation of it means selfless love in action. And that's why Spiritism use without charity there's no salvation, because charity is love in action. And that's what God wants from us. And that's what Jesus did when he was here, with no discrimination to anyone.
Charity is not what people usually think, right? That is just give money to charity. Charities go beyond that. It's like you said before, just stop and give a good word for someone that needs, someone that is in need, or even developing yourself. It's an act of charity.
Yes,
Because
charity starts at home. We have to
exactly.
love ourselves first in order to be able to love someone else, right? Giving money, it's in many cases is needed. Some people need material aid, but that's easy. Here, take the money, walk away. Do you want to know what that person was going through in their life? Calling me. do you want to know? Do you stop to ask what's going on with you? How are you today? Moral charity, which is giving your time, forgiving, understanding, that's the hardest charity to do. Put your hands on your pocket to give money is the easiest one. Giving your time is the hardest, especially nowadays, right?
Yes.
Where we are very busy. We have no time for nothing.
That reminds me of that story of the Mother Teresa, that she was on her way to meet the Pope, and she saw someone suffering on the road, and she asked the driver to stop so she could go and help this person. So she helped this person, and then she got late on her appointment with the Pope. And when there,
Wow.
yeah,
Would we do that? Would you do
yeah,
that? So
yeah,
she was the Good Samaritan, right?
yeah,
She was the contemporary
yeah,
Good Samaritan.
temporary Samaritan. And then when she got there, one of the cardinals, the Pope's cardinals, mentioned like, how did you get here late? You know, that's really bad. And she's like, oh yeah, I know, but I met Christ on the road. So I think that's very good example of charity.
Oh, yes.
Who does that nowadays? You
Yeah.
know?
And not doing good, I mean, not doing bad is okay. It's great. We're not supposed to do anything bad, right? But not doing good is also very bad.
Yeah.
You know, some
Because
people say, yeah, I don't do anything for anyone. You know, I'm not harming anyone. When you're not doing good for other people, you are harming yourself. Because the good you do to others, you're doing the good for yourself. When you are in a position of helping, that's the better position than to be the one being helped. But when you are in this position of helping, you have to be grateful for the persons that are there, give you the opportunity to be charitable. So it's a very deep subject, which we need to look within and say, what am I doing? Am I being charitable? Because this is one thing that Jesus says that it gets us closer to perfection is putting love in action. And the essence of the Spiritism is development of our soul. And obviously, there's two types of development. We develop our intelligence and we develop our spiritual side, okay? But you notice that most of the people that are remembered, they're remembered by what they have done. I'm sure you have examples in your life of people that you won't forget by the gesture that they have done for you.
yeah.
Right? So without charity, there's no salvation. What kind of salvation we are looking into here? The salvation of our soul. Because the path of perfection is very long. We're going to have to come back here many times, because there's one thing that really holds us back a lot, and that is pride. Pride is on our way. It's our biggest enemy. And if we can start fighting that, within ourselves and become a little bit more selfless in every single way, not only monetary way, not only giving things that you don't need anymore, but like there's another passage in the Bible that says that this widow, she gave her last coins, where everyone was giving all they had enough to give, right? So they're not going to be not missing out on anything by giving that whatever they gave, which was even much more than hers. But she gave what she couldn't give because she didn't have much. So are we being selfless? How much are we being selfless in our day-to-day? So it's just something to food for thoughts, just to think about it. Does anyone has anything to say? Would you like to add to it?
This is always full. I cannot read the comments, so you know.
No, I can't see any comments here. Anyway, we are just going to do this in about half an hour because we're just trying to do as a gospel at home. Okay. Oh, who's that? Gloria. Ah, how cute. Do you want to do the final prayer, Larissa?
No.
Okay, so let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in. Feel it. I'm sure you will feel this beautiful energy coming down through your head, embracing you in love, and that's your spiritual guide. That's the light of Master Jesus through them, involving you and your house, purifying every single corner of every room of your house, cleansing with this beautiful golden light, giving us a sense of peace, of relaxation, a sense of embrace, of love, those kind of love that we don't see anywhere besides every time we get together with our Master Jesus and our spiritual guides that is beside us every day, trying to remind us what we came here for. Do not forget what we came here for. What's your purpose of your life? You are always at the right place at the right time. You always have something to give, even if it's just a smile. You might change up someone's life. We ask them to bless our water. We ask them to bless ourselves and give us the sensation that they are with us, understanding us and pushing us to become that better person. Thank you, dear Lord. Please involve this whole world in your love, not only today but forever. So be it.
Here we go. 30
Oh,
minutes.
hold on a minute. Good. Some things can be explained, some are best to be experienced. Charity. Yes, that's true, Kurt.
Very
So true. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed. We have to start somewhere. We started and get better later, okay? And I hope you guys, these are the people saying that nowadays. First you start, then you get better.
The most important thing is to start.
The most important thing is to start.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really grateful for you guys to come here. So please come next Monday and bring your friends, spread the word. Maybe there is someone out there that needs to listen to this and they don't go anywhere and then just need some kind of touch.
Guidance.
Some kind of guidance, which I hope we are going to get from it.
Yeah.
All right. God bless all of you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. See ya.